Today I'm here with Kevin Pease, who's preparing to make a big leap on October 10th when he faces Ethan Pauley for the vacant CFFC Welterweight Championship about a year and a half later than it should have been. Pauley enters this fight with a 7-1 record. Kevin enters it undefeated. We're going to dig into the matchup, the title aspirations, the PFL venture, everything. How's it going today, Kev?
It's going great, brother. How are you? Is it?
We're good. Is it good on your end?
It's a little slow on my end, but that's good.
Yeah, I see it going. I'm going to hope that when it records and exports, we're a lot better than we were when we first tried. So, about 2 weeks away from the fight, you finally get your title shot. You had to go through PFL first, I guess, to make it qualified for you to get the shot.
Yes, sir.
How's the camp been? And, how 2 weeks away.
The camp's been amazing. I started off at Daniel Cormier's Wrestling Academy in Gilroy, California, working with him. And I actually made a management switch over with him. I've known him for years. His coach has coached me since my amateur days. And at the point where I was at, it just made the most sense. And he helped make this fight happen with CFFC and all the great people over there. And once I got the fight, I flew straight to Florida and with the guys at Killcliff and got right to work.
So out there at the Wrestling Academy, that's what Thomas Gant was out there.
Tommy Gant.
Torres Finney. Like, everyone's out there now.
Yeah, Gant, Finney, Rodrigo, and Jeff Creighton from The Ultimate Fighter. So I got a lot of great work. And then, of course, DC.
Nice. And then about to ask you what you changed. You already answered that. You added a whole new arsenal. You already had the Killcliff crew behind you. Now you have the Daniel Cormier Wrestling Academy behind you as well. Let's just hop into your opponent. What do you know about Ethan?
I really don't know much about him. I've seen his record. He's been very active recently. He's been putting together a good win streak, some good finishes. Taller guy for the division, I think at like 6'2". But usually I have my coaches or teammates. I watch a little film, but I have my coaches and teammates give me their input on him. And the biggest standout is he's never competed with someone at my level. He's never fought anybody like me. He's never fought an undefeated athlete. He's never fought a competitor as professional as I am, who's been on the big stages, who's been having hard fights since the amateurs. And I believe that's what's going to make the difference.
Nice. And then, kind of did the first half of the camp, let's call it that, at the Daniel Cormier Academy. You're doing the rest of it at Killcliff. I'm assuming also a little bit of Memphis BJJ as well. You're doing the whole trip. And outside that, you said 6'2". He's 7-1. I agree. Like, he hasn't really faced the highest level of competition. I say that as his last win was over a buddy of mine, which I'm also, extra rooting for you now because I want that revenge against him.
Yeah.
But let's talk in that reverse too. I kind of led into it. Like, kind of felt this title fight probably should have happened about 2 years ago. I mean, when you were in Atlantic City, the broadcast even labeled you the welterweight champion at that point.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, things changed. There was another, I don't know if we want to say teammate, but friend, Memphis friend that went and fought for the title instead. You went to PFL. So, like, how's the experience been going to PFL now coming back to, like, the regionals?
The PFL experience was one of the best in my whole career. The amount of professionalism of the organization, getting compensated for my work, the best of my whole career, fighting the toughest opponent of my career and getting that experience on that stage, all the for all the marbles basically. And coming out of that battle with Nick Meck, the amount of experience and knowledge that I gained from competing against him, I'm very excited with the work I put in this camp mixed with that to go into my title bout. I feel more prepared for the title bout because of that experience.
I know when we talked a couple of days ago, I even mentioned, like, you went through adversity in that fight too. Something we haven't really seen you have to go through. And that was like, a nice learning experience too, especially being paid what you probably should have been paid for a fight at that level as well.
Yeah.
And again, you also kind of referenced like Ethan hasn't fought that level caliber either. Like you fought at the next level already. Now PFL's kind of restructuring as well too, so you're coming back to kind of like prepare yourself for the next level again, be it back at PFL, UFC, and so on. What does like winning this title mean to you? Does it mean anything, or is it just like a piece of gold that kind of like symbolizes like the end maybe of your regional career?
It means a lot. I worked really hard for this belt. I've felt like I've been the champion of this promotion. I felt like I've been earned the opportunity, but everything's on God's timing, and I feel like he was really looking out for me in all this, getting me that PFL experience, letting me have some time with my family because early in my pro career, I'm trying to get to the show, right? So I'm spending time away from my wife, my kids, grinding month after month, waiting for opportunities, preparing for opportunities. And so it was nice after that to go home and spend a couple months and just recuperate and assess how I'm moving in the sport, assess what I need to do to get to where I want to be. Which all of it doesn't have to do with ability. So, and then it was also awesome seeing the division shake out. I think they went through 2 champions since then. I would have loved to fight both those champions for the belt, but everything fell together perfectly here with this main event in Tampa, and I feel I'm where I deserve to be at the top of the card.
And I think that's another benefit too, because like if we're being honest, if you would have got the title fight probably when you should have, it probably would have been like up in Atlantic City, which no knock there. You've seen the venue; it's a nice venue, but kind of being home is probably better there as well because I'm sure you would have had people fly up with you, but I'm sure you're gonna have a lot more people in Tampa than you would in Atlantic City because even driving in from Memphis is a lot closer than coming to Atlantic City because no one wants to go to Atlantic City, for being honest.
Yeah, I felt no matter, like I said in that post-fight interview, I would have fought it on the moon. I didn't care where it was at. I went and fought CJ in Atlantic City. I'm not worried about judges. I believe if I do my job, judges anywhere are going to let me get my hand raised. So it could have been anywhere. I don't care. I'm happy it's in Tampa. I'm excited. I feel like I've almost fought in every place CFFC goes to. And I feel like that just speaks to how I've been their company man.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that you did. I think you bit all the current locations you have fought at.
Yeah.
Outside of that, you obviously mentioned you got to spend time with your family. You got to kind of like travel for this camp as well, or preparing for a camp. What kind of support do you have like outside of like the gym and all? Like obviously you have your family, but like what other like emotional backing, if we have to like rely on like a different term, do you have coming into this?
I have so many great teammates across the country. I have so many great coaches around the country. Like I mentioned with DC, my family is phenomenal. And of course, my Lord is also great. And I really just lean on him. I always think I know what's best. I always think I have this great plan, but he continually structures my path where afterwards I'm like, man, I'm really am where I'm supposed to be. I'm really in the right place. So, there's almost too many people to name that I have helping me. And I believe that's a big part of why I'm at where I'm at, because I have all these people pour into me, from teammates on the mat, veterans, guys in similar positions to where I'm at, guys younger than me that I help out. And when I help them out, I learn from them. So just the combination of all those things, I feel like I'm very blessed.
Talking about I got the gym as well too. Obviously, we just kind of touched on everyone at Daniel Cormier. Who have you been working with mainly at Killcliff, though? I know that gym is always expanding as well.
Yeah, I have a couple coaches outside of Killcliff that are still in the Florida area. My coach is like Artem. He's a great boxing coach. Coaches Esteban, and Narulo, who are in the UFC. My coach Greg Choplin, who's a multiple-time world champion in Muay Thai. And then one of the best parts about Killcliff is all the veterans. in the gym. I just did a big session with Gilbert Burns this morning, and we just rehearsed different things in the fight, talked about different tactical things. I've been in camp with Luke this whole time, and learning different ways to finish chokes and how to set up on the counter, and sparring with those guys. Andre Fialho has always been helping me out. So the beauty of this gym is the amount of teammates you have, that everyone has their specialty, and we mix, DeRitter, for example, I worked a lot with this camp. So just listening to the veterans around me, helping them out, them helping me out, and just creating that flow in the room is always the biggest teacher at Killcliff.
And then let's fast forward to fight day. Do you have any rituals that you kind of follow? I know a lot of fighters tend to try to visualize everything from the walkout to the introduction to the victory to the post-fight speech. Do you have any rituals that you try to do every fight card that kind of zone you in?
I visualize. I talk to myself. I pray. I try to keep the mood light. I try to get a hard warm up in. I always have my song by 2 Chainz, Feds Watching, serenade me in. And I always have that Memphis flag over my shoulders, reminding me where I come from, who I fight for, who I represent, with blood on it from all the battles in the past. I try not to get too ritualistic, because no one knows what's going to happen in the cage. Everybody talks about predictions. Everybody talks about, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But that cage is a crazy place. So I just try to show up the most prepared, show up with my plan and ready to take it wherever the fight goes. If it's a long night, okay, let's fight. I'll be there all the rounds. I'll overcome any adversity that comes my way. And if you're not on your P's and Q's, I'll run you right over.
I won't ask the next question, because the next question was a prediction. You kind of just answered that in a way by saying you don't like to actually look at predictions.
Yeah.
So let's pivot there. What message or words do you have for your opponent? Since there is very minimal on him, you don't really watch tape anyway. But if he's watching, what message do you have for him?
I just salute him. I'm grateful for him for taking this opportunity and giving me a chance to fight for the title. A lot of guys in the past haven't agreed to fight me, and I'm just grateful that he's willing enough to meet me in the cage, and I'm excited to see what happens when we get in there.
Awesome. And then, obviously, with your crew, you always have a lot of shout-outs and sponsors to kind of thank. I'll pass the mic to you to kind of give those thanks to, teammates, sponsors, family, friends, everything. The mic's all yours.
Shout out to Killcliff FC. They've been behind me my whole pro career. Shout out to the Academy and Daniel Cormier guiding me through this chapter of my career. Shout out to Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, where I started all this, where all this began. Shout out to my mother, my wife, my children for supporting me through this. And most importantly, shout out to God for giving me all my abilities, my health, and putting me in the position to do what I love to do best, which is compete.
Awesome. And, thank you yourself for joining me again here. Fight's going to be awesome. Like I said, it's been a long time coming since this title fight's been there. I would say best of luck, but I don't believe in luck. I think you do the work in the gym to not need luck. So best of skill on the title fight. I look forward to watching it. Look forward to seeing the and new. I can be a little non-biased by saying it that way because it's a vacant title. But obviously, I think we kind of know which side I lean on in this one. So best of luck, or best of skill, October 10th. And I'd like to see what's next for you. I know you already had the stint in PFL, and I hear Daniel Cormier has some connections at a certain promotion that's probably where you're really targeting. So best of skill. Look forward to this one.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.